Hello and welcome to the fourth part of the tutorial series. In this tutorial, I'm going to tell you how to link the buttons to actual Java code and also how to mm, design the layout. And I'm also going to explain to you some of the basic properties of buttons and other elements. First of all, let's see the buttons. Now, when you create a button, as we did in the previous tutorial, by simple drag and drop, four properties are created by default. The one is the ID, the layout width, height, and text. Now, the ID is the ID of the button that we are going to use to identify the button for the Java code, and the width and height are the width and height of the button, and the text is actually the text that is going to appear on the button. Now you can see a warning line underneath the button, the text of the button. Well, this is because Android recommends that you put all the string values or text that is going to be displayed in the application in the strings XML file. This is because this is actually a really convenient way to code in Android, because by doing this, if you change the values in the strings, they are going to be reflected throughout your application. So it's like using variables, and then you can easily change the variables, the values of the variables, and you won't have to rewrite the entire application again. So uh, let's see. Now, under the width and height property, you can see that by default it is set to wrap content. What wrap content mean is that whatever the text of the button would be, the button would expand to match the size, or to actually fit the text in the button. This helps because if you don't want a symmetrical layout, uh, then this is probably what you should go for. But if you don't want that, then you can specify the width and height of the buttons by yourself. Now there are two methods which are most commonly used. One is by specifying the pixel height by using px. Now, when you see over here, oh wait, no, we want it to be a bit more. Let's see. Let's change the height first. Okay, when we change it to 50px, you can see here that it has shrunk a bit, but this is, and we can also do 50dp. I'll explain the difference between these two a bit later. Now you can see that the button has not changed much. Well, the reason for this is that dp is actually the scalable size, which means that if your screen size is larger, the buttons would expand in the same proportion in the application. But if you specify it with px, that is pixels, then whatever your screen size may be, it's always going to occupy the same amount of pixels. So in a sense, it is not a very good way to code, because then if your screen size vary, which it does obviously on all Android devices, your application would appear a bit distorted, or it might be it might be like all too small or too big for different devices. So it's better to use the DP to specify the width and height. So we can also change the width. Let's set it to say 75 dp. Now you can see it has enlarged a bit. So for this application, we're just going to use the wrap content, because we don't want to get too much complicated in these beginning tutorials. All right, so now let's change the text of these buttons. Let's say for the first button we'll do mm, plus, and for the second we'll do minus, sorry, and for the third we'll do clear. Now when we click the first button, we're gonna make its functionality do plus, and for the second minus, and then for the clear. Now you can see that the since the text is not the same on all the buttons, the size of the buttons varies because this is the wrap content. Now we can also use match parent, which is actually the which specifies the size exactly as it is for the parent, such as the height, say. Now there is also another available mm, property settings, that is the fill parent. Now the fill parent will take up all the space of the container in which it is contained. For example, if we do, let's say, for the height, let's say that it is fill parent for the buttons, fill parent, fill, oh sorry, uh, fill parent. Now it's going to, as you can see, that it fills the parent entirely. So we want we don't want it to fill the parent apparently. So however, we do want it to fill the parent in the terms of height. So we're gonna do that here. And for the width, let's just specify it ourselves. Let's say 780 dp. I'm just showing you how different things appear if you mess up with different things, and how are they going to affect your application. So let's do this 80 dp. Sorry. Okay, so now let's view it, and there you go. Alright, so now we're going to link these buttons to actual Java code. We can do that by going to source, and from here let's launch the activity class. Alright, now we will write button. Now you can see that it has highlighted the button red. That's because it does not know what the button actually is. So we can import the code for the button, or actually the library for the button. That is import Android widget dot uh, okay button. So now it knows what button is, but still it's not going to show because we have not specified the complete code. So let's write plus sign and button. uh, Now everything in Android is a view, every button is a view, so we want to find this view by its ID that we specified in the code. So let's see, what was the ID then again? It was for this the ID was for plus sign the ID was button 1, for minus button 2, and for clear button 3. So let's do that. Find view by ID r dot id dot button 1, and there you have it. This is, now we've created a button named plus. Now let's create, now whenever a button is clicked, an action is performed. So to specify what happens when the button is clicked, we use action specifiers, or we, for in this case we're going to use the on click action specifier. Let's just save this. Now to create the action listener, let's type plus dot set uh, on click listener. Now we need a new view dot on click listener. Now this is, it's quite easy to create it in this Eclipse, because most of the work is done by the autocomplete code, but it's quite simple. See, from the plus, that is that is an object of the button class. There is a function set on click listener, in which we've created a new on click listener from the view class. from the view object, and we've specified a function in it that is on click. Now what this does is that whenever you click the button, this function is going to run, and what this function does is that is what we will specify under this code. Now we would do the same for the other buttons, that is button minus equals button sorry, find view by id r dot id dot button 2, that was the minus one, and then we have button clear mm, button find view by id and r dot id dot button 3. Now we've created all the buttons. Now we want to create an edit text. Now I'll show you that we've also created edit text boxes, that were these two boxes. Now they were named edit text 1 and edit text 2. Now we're going to use these boxes to take inputs from the user and then perform the actions of the button. So we also need to create edit text boxes. Let's see, number 1 equals uh, edit text find view by id r dot id dot, that is edit text 1. Now you can see again it does not know what edit text is. So what you can do is simply by right clicking, and then we can use quick fix, and it would import and it would give us a bit of bunch of suggestions from which we need to select import. Now when we click import, you see that it has imported the edit text over here. So this is quite simple. This is actually one of the cool features of Eclipse. So we do the same with the second edit box. Number 2, edit text find id id dot edit text, oh sorry, edit text 2. Now now that these are created, let's create all the other actions for action listeners for the buttons. Let's create it for the minus dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. We just need to put a semicolon over here, otherwise this error would still be here, because you see that this bracket starts from here and it ends here, so it's still inside the on click listener function. So we need to put a semicolon here, and now we do it for the clear dot set on click listener new dot on click listener. Excuse me. So now that we've created all these functions, let's start putting some code into it.